Alright guys, I'm in the Atari closet here. As some of you guys know, I have a complete Atari 5200 game set. So here they all are. There's 69 total games that were released in the United States. And today I'm going to go through the top 10 games that I enjoy playing in 2024 on the Atari 5200. So let's get to it. Alright, number 10 is Mega Mania. So this is a game more well known on the 2600. But it does have a 5200 version, which is basically just the same thing with improved graphics. It does work quite well with the controller. For all these games, by the way, I'm using the Wiko controller with the number pad, and it worked well for this game. So basically, you're just a spaceship, just shooting random things. All the different enemies have different patterns, which makes the game a little unique. I hate this level, with the clams or whatever these things are. I always have a really hard time shooting them. But yeah, some will shoot and some will go diagonal. There's just the game has really good variety, and it's a fun game to just keep trying over and over. It's easy to just say, oh, one more try, It's like one of those kind of games where you just keep playing it, trying to get a high score. You have 3 lives, and there's an energy meter that counts down as you're playing, so you basically are on a timer at all times, so you kind of have that pressure as well. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. Simple graphics, but the gameplay is really fun. It's an Activision title. And yeah, it's worth owning. It's pretty uncommon, but if you can track down a copy, I would definitely recommend it. Number 9 is Robotron 2084. This is a twin-stick shooter game. You basically just go around, shoot all the robots, and just don't get killed. Save the humans. Very simple game. There is some frame rate issues on this version. I do prefer the 7800 version of this game, but this version still plays really well. In this footage, I'm actually... As I mentioned, I'm using those Wiko controllers. I do have 2 of those. My gameplay probably won't be too great on this one, just because it's a little awkward to hold those on your lap. They move a lot. They have a lot of travel in them. So on this game, I would prefer using the original 5200 controllers, which they do have a little coupler that came with the game. You can attach them to each other. But yeah, you basically just kill all the robots, move on to the next screen, collect points. It's just a high score game, but it's really fun, really intense, and very chaotic, fun game. It was originally an arcade game. Yeah, and that's basically all there is to really say. This footage pretty much speaks for itself. You just go around, shoot things. Basically, one stick controls your movement, the other stick controls where you're shooting. So it's pretty cool. You can be moving left and shooting right at the same time. Pretty unique game when it came out. And I would definitely recommend playing it on the 5200. It's a great version. Number 8 is Super Breakout. This is an absolute classic game. I'm sure everyone's seen this game somewhere before. There's lots of remakes of it and stuff like that. This is a great version, lots of different game modes. In this footage, I'm actually using the Atari 5200 trackball, which is really a fantastic controller. It's very well built, and I feel like it works really well in this game. You'd think you would want to paddle, but the trackball works super well. Yeah, there's a lot of modes. The graphics are, they're okay. They're colorful. I kind of like the animation when you hit the brick. It kind of melts away. And this one does have the feature where when you get the ball in the upper area and it starts, basically once you break through all the bricks and hit the ceiling, the paddle will shrink in size and it gets really small. And it's very, very hard. Just like Mega Mania, this is the kind of game where you're just going to keep trying to play it over and over and try to just keep bettering your score. It's an easy one to get addicted to when you're playing it. But yeah, there's not too much to say. A lot of cool modes. I believe this one has multiplayer as well. This was a pack-in with the early 4-port 5200s. So it's a very easy, common one to find. And I'm sure if you have a 5200, probably have this game. And yeah, it's definitely worth playing for sure, especially with that trackball. Game number 7 is Kicks. This is another very common one. Kind of a hard one to explain. You're basically this red line trying to avoid the weird pattern flying around the screen. Could have read the manual and told you what that's called, but whatever, it is what it is. So basically you're just trying to enclose a certain percentage of the map. So you can see at the top there, the first level, you have to get 65%, I believe that says, of the map. If you hit one of the buttons, it'll do the blue. So I tried to demo this here. It'll do the blue color, and that doesn't count for as much as the red, but you move a lot slower with the red, so you have a higher risk of getting killed. So basically you can get hit by, there's those 2 little spark things that move across the lines, you can get killed by those, and then obviously the kicks, I guess it is, in the center of the screen that's moving around, that can obviously kill you as well. And yeah, this is a very hard game. Definitely not the best at it, but I enjoy it every time I play it. It's definitely a good challenge. And I don't really know many other games like it. It's pretty unique, and it has good like risk reward. Like you can try to go right down the center like that. Like, yeah, see, I got caught right there. It's a pretty intense game, and I think it's a lot of strategy involved. And again, a common game. A lot of people had this game back in the day. It doesn't really go for much, so I would definitely, if you got a 5200, it controls good with the original controller or a third-party controller. And yeah, I would highly recommend this game. Obviously, any game in this list I would recommend, but this is a cool one for sure. Number 6 is Popeye. This was a Parker Brothers release. And yeah, it's just a classic Nintendo arcade game. You just gotta collect the hearts and avoid, I believe his name's Brutus. I'm not a Popeye fan, but the game's really good. A really good challenge, and there's a lot of strategy. Again, I'm not the best at this game. Basically, you just avoid them, and he'll like swipe up at you, throw stuff at you. It's pretty hard to get far in this one for sure. I'm always like trying to get to the next stage. Kind of has like that Donkey Kong kind of appeal where you're trying to just get to the next level. Yeah, it's very challenging. As I said, there's a lot of different levels. I just showed the first one here, but yeah, just get the hearts, don't get killed. It's basically all you got to do, and it's a very fun game, very unique gameplay. I like all the 3 different floors and all the animations and stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. Again, another cheap one. Most of these games don't cost very much because a lot of people don't collect for the 5200. This is definitely a great classic arcade game that was ported over. Perfect, the 5200. A little downgrade in the graphics, but the gameplay is definitely there. Number 5 is Miner 2049er. This is kind of, again, like a Donkey Kong kind of style game. You're basically just this guy walking around, basically walking over the floors. You just got to fill them all in. I'm sure there's more of a story to it than that, but that's basically all you got to do. Just walk over the floors, avoid the enemies. So you'll see there's these enemies, and when they're flashing, that means you can't touch them. So you'll die right away if you touch them. So basically you got to just go around, fill in all the floor to clear the level. Every item you collect, it gives you points, as well as turns the enemy solid, so you can run through them like that and get points that way. It's a very challenging game. It gets hard quick, and the sequel, Bounty Bob, which is the most expensive game on the 5200, is the sequel to this, and that is basically an extremely hard version of this game. But I like this one a little more, just because I'm not the greatest at these games, so for me this one's just a little more fun. I can get a little farther in it. And yeah, the graphics, again, nothing special in terms of the graphics, but the gameplay is definitely worth playing, for sure. So you just try to get to the next level. They're all different. Yeah, this one's got like the little slide things. But yeah, anyway, it's a great game. I definitely recommend playing it if you have not. My number 4 is Keystone Papers. Again, and normally a game you think, oh, that's a really good 2600 game, but it also was ported to the 5200. And it plays literally identically, but it just has some improved graphics, some improved sounds, got some music. You probably won't be able to hear it, but it does have some music in the background, which is pretty cool. Basically, all you're trying to do is catch the robber, and you're just running across the screen, avoiding bouncing balls and airplanes and shopping carts. And there's a bunch of different enemies that you come across, and it's kind of confusing to explain. If you there's an elevator in the center of the screen, but if you get past him, he'll run the other direction. And there's those escalators. You can't go down the escalators, so you have to make sure you stay behind him the whole time. So it's kind of an interesting little thing there. This game has a lot of strategy, and it's really fun. You can really get in a group with this game. As I said, there's a lot of different enemies. It gets very challenging, and yeah, you're basically on a timer to get them, so you have to be quick for sure. If you want to get far in this game. And it takes a lot of practice, but once you kind of master each obstacle, it helps a lot. My number 3 is Hero. What a classic game. This game is basically ported to basically every computer and video game console at the time, except for the Intellivision, but definitely I love it on every system I play it on. Basically, you're just this guy going down to save somebody, and You're just going across. There's a bunch of different enemies. You got to be careful when you drop down the screen. There's a lot of times you're going to get killed really easy. So what I like about this version is the 2600 and a lot of other one-button consoles, you have to hit down to drop the bombs. And this one, you can actually use the other button to drop the bombs. So one button shoot, one button drops the bombs. So that helps the gameplay a lot. So you don't have to, a lot of times the 2600 version I'll actually hit down and end up killing myself with a bomb. Yeah, it's very simple. There's a time limit, so you gotta hustle a little bit. And you only have a limited amount of bombs. And yeah, you just try to get as far as you can. This game has some cool lighting effects too. When you're in the darker areas, you might be able to see it here eventually, pretty soon. If you light a bomb in the dark areas, it'll get like a little light for a second, then it'll blow up and get super bright, and then it'll get dark again. So just little things like that I appreciate. See here, I hate the little hand enemy. But yeah, a lot of variety, a lot of challenge, a lot of just simple arcade fun. You can see it right here. I don't know, I thought that was a cool effect of the bomb blowing up in the dark like that. But yeah, great port. Definitely better than the 2600 version just for the 2-button compatibility. And yeah, highly recommend this game on really any system. But the 5200 versions honestly might be one of my favorite versions of it. So yeah, see, this level adds the walls that you can't touch or you'll die. But yeah, they just keep adding new things and it's really fun. Anyway, that's number 3. My number 2 is Space Dungeon. This is another twin-stick shooter game. You basically just this little ball. You go around. You can shoot in all directions. So you have 2 controllers. This gameplay is going to be pretty sloppy because, again, I'm using those Wiko controllers. I don't recommend those for this game. In this game, I really prefer to use the original controllers along with Robotron. I don't know why that is with the dual controller games. It's just kind of clunky with the Wiko sticks, but that's besides the point. You just go around, collect treasures. Shoot things. It's really fun. I like them. I just like this game a lot more than Robotron, just because it feels like you have more of a goal. Like, I like the map, so you have to like look at the map and try to get to that flashing area to clear the level. And yeah, I just felt like that added a lot to the game, and the treasures, which is basically kind of like the little people you can save. But I don't know. At the end of the level, I just feel like it's a little better than Robotron. Kind of a weird, different opinion, probably the most, but I really like this one. This was going to be my number 1, actually, but then I played the game that is in the number 1 spot, and I'm like, yeah, this is my favorite game for sure on the system. But this one's definitely kind of a hidden gem, and I would 100%. If you have 5200 and you've got 2 controllers that function, that's probably the suckiest thing about this game and Robotron. It's just getting it set up can be really hard, but if you do, definitely worth it. As you can see, the only thing that does kind of suck about this one, too, is if there's a lot of sprites on the screen, you get some lag. And I like how they block off some of the paths. So, like, you'll be looking at the map saying, oh, I'm going to go left on the next screen, but then it'll be blocked off, so you have to, like, change up your route. Yeah, I just feel like the map added a lot to this, and I think it's a really fantastic hidden gem on the system. My number 1, you guys probably figured this is going to be on the list somewhere, is Missile Command. This is just a fantastic port of the arcade game. There's not 3 bases, which kind of sucks, but I don't think that ruins the game by any means. And with the trackball, it has true analog movement. So like the 2600 version with the trackball, you're not really getting true analog movement. You're just kind of imitating it. This, you really get that feel of accuracy. Like, I can get pretty far in this game. Obviously, you're not gonna see that right here, but I'm just kind of messing around. But this is just such a really fun, chaotic game, and it's very simple. You can just pick it up, play it. This is like the game, if I'm thinking of playing the 5200, this is probably the first one I'm going to play. I always just pop it in and just play a couple rounds till I die and shut it off. It's just a really fun game to try to get a high score, and even if you don't care about the high score, it's such a chaotic, fun game, and it really keeps you on your toes the whole time. So yeah, that's basically my list. I think the 5200 is a very underrated console. As you can see, most of these, like, again, this is like on the 2600. I think all of them, other than Space Dungeon and Robotron, are on the 2600. Yeah, I think those are the only 2 that are not on the system. So everything else is like on the 2600, but these versions are better graphics, and if you have the right controller, they can control better as well. This game is just, it's very simple. again, super duper common. Like, you should, if you have a 5200, again, you probably already have this game. So it's not really a point to recommend it. Everyone knows this is a classic, but it had to win. It's kind of like the NES. Like, Mario 3 is going to be on the list, and that's just how it is. So, yeah, if you guys liked this video, please subscribe. Please like. And I felt like this would be a fun one to make just because I have played every game that's on the system. So I felt like I had a kind of a unique perspective. And it was all on real hardware, no emulation or anything like that. Yeah, again, if you enjoyed, subscribe. Any suggestions, leave them down below what you want me to do next. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.